Coming up this time, after winning the European Cup, who would dare break Cloughie's curfew?
Mr. Clough said, everybody stay in, because the wives and the girlfriends were in Madrid. I think there was about 6 of us. He said, well, I'm not staying in. European Cup, no chance of staying in. So we went, and we got to the door, and I always have vivid memory of John Robertson at the door waving us on. He wouldn't dare break the curfew just in case what the manager had said. He said, oh, I can't risk it. And we're going, just won the European Cup, you're having a laugh.
You'll hear the story of how 3 Nottingham lads beat the odds to reach the pinnacle of club football.
I watched the European Cup final or the Champions League Cup final, and you do well to find 3 people in the same country. They mind the same city. So the only one you can think of is Phil Foden, but everybody else is all over the place. So, you know, it's a unique story in itself. We all played in the young Elizabethan League. We're all the similar ages. Well, I think Gary's born on the same day as me. I mean, it's bizarre how it all comes together.
And the story of the career-defining advice from Brian Clough.
He helped me in loads of ways. I remember going to Newcastle in a cup tie and go out on the pitch on my own, and got abuse from everybody in the stadium. The old stadium booed and all sorts of things. And I went back to him and said, boss, I don't think I can play tonight. And he did look me straight in the eye and said, you're playing. And he goes on to explain why are you playing? He said, you came here because you've got the ability to play in my team. So don't let these people around here dictate to you, else you're not going to make a footballer. You're not going to make a career. So from that day on, I always thought, well, the manager said this, so it helped me. It kept me in good stead for anything that they threw at me in a football field from then onwards.
All that and many more stories coming up on this latest Cloughie podcast. Hello, I'm Marcus Alton from the tribute website brianclough.com, and you're listening to the Green Jumper podcast. And my guest today is a man who was an integral part of Brian Clough's European glory years, and apparently once gave Cloughie a kiss on the cheek. It's a warm welcome to Viv Anderson.
I'm pleased to be on, Marcus. Thanks for inviting me.
That's all right. Now, of course, you have a starring role in a new documentary called Local Heroes, which we'll chat about, and you're going back to your roots in Nottingham. But I've got to ask you about that kiss. I understand it was after you'd left Forest and you were with Sheffield Wednesday.
Yes, I was a captain of Sheffield Wednesday, and Forest played at Hillsborough, and as a tradition, the captain always takes the team out for the warm-up, but I hated warm-up, so I was only literally out there for literally 5 minutes. I'd take them out and have a run and then go back into the dressing room. As I'm coming off the pitch, Mr. Clough is sat on his own in the dugout, and there's lots of Sheffield Wednesday fans around the dugout.
Yes.
So as I'm walking, I said, hello, Mr. Clough, and he goes, come here, young man. I went, well, I've got to get in now. It's a game today. He goes, come here. So I go over. I'm hopeless at the accent anyway. So
that's great.
So I go over, and he said, give us a kiss. So I had to kiss him on the cheek and scampered down the tunnel to get to the dressing room as quick as I could. So everybody went, yeah, in the dugout, in the stands.
Yes.
Saw it.
So he still felt warmly towards you.
Yes.
Yeah. Now his first match as Forest boss was an FA Cup replay at Spurs, but I think you were left out of the squad which travelled down for that match, even though you'd played in the first game. Did you fear at that stage that maybe the writing was on the wall for you?
They're my words entirely. Yeah, the writing's on the wall because, as you say, I played in the game, came off with 10 minutes ago with cramp, and the door burst open. Mr. Clough walks in and says, I am the new Nottingham Forest manager. And the replay, which was on the Wednesday, there's a team sheet gone up. Have a look at it and see if you're on the list. And I wasn't on the list. But a lad called Tony Woodcock was on that list, and he wasn't even in the 15 or 16 or the top 100 of that club at the time. And so we thought, somebody's realised I'm a decent player. So Tony's going to London. But it turns out he ended up cleaning his shoes and doing all sorts of
Yes.
menial tasks while he was down there. But for his first interjection into Nottingham Forest, I thought, as you rightly say, the writing's on the wall. I think I'm out of this club.
But you did get in the side, obviously with John Robertson, Tony, as you mentioned, Martin O'Neill, Ian Bowyer, who were already at the club when Clough arrived. And having watched you play, in the late 70s, you seem to be ahead of your time, really, as an attacking fullback, maybe what we'd call a wing-back these days. Did Brian Clough encourage you to go forward?
First and foremost, he says, your job is to keep the ball out of my net. So whatever it takes, you keep that ball out my net. Now, if you can affect the game going the other way, it's a bonus to us. But remember, fundamentally, you are a fullback who needs to defend. So I was encouraged to get forward, but if my defensive frailties came to the fore, I would know very, very quickly.
Yes, yeah. You played alongside Kenny Burns, of course, in defence, who Brian often referred to as Kenneth. Did he call you Vivian?
No, he never called me Vivian.
No.
I was happy if he called me anything, but he'd call me Viv.
Yeah.
No,
he was all right.
Didn't have a nickname for me. No, yeah, he was all right.
No. Well, you went on to play for Arsenal and Manchester United. And how did the preparations for matches under Cloughie differ from the preparations at those other clubs you went to?
Well, I went to, as you rightly said, I went to Arsenal from Manchester United. I went when everybody had left. Then there was only myself, and I think Ian Bowyer left. I think John Robertson left. Kenny Burns left. Tony Woodcock left. They all went in different times.
Yes.
So I'd go to the Arsenal, and with first game at Arsenal, there was a big dossier on the players you're playing against, the formation, this, that, the other.
Yeah.
We never had anything like that. Mr. Clough would come in maybe 5 to 3. You'd probably wouldn't see him in the week, and 5 to 3 he'd come in, and he'd pick a ball up and say to me or Larry Lloyd or Kenny Burns, "You pass it to him because he can play and you can't." Some things like that. So he made it very, very simple to play under him, but very enjoyable at the same time.
Yeah. Now, in this feature-length documentary, Local Heroes, you join Tony Woodcock, Garry Birtles as well in telling the story of basically how 3 Nottingham lads beat the odds to reach the pinnacle of football and worldwide fame, really. What was it like for you going back to the Clifton estate in Nottingham where you grew up?
First and foremost, you've got to remember, I watched the European Cup final or the Champions League Cup final, and you do well to find 3 people in the same country. Never mind the same city. So the only one you can think of is Phil Foden, but everybody else is all over the place. So it's a unique story in itself, and it's a story that resonates not just for Nottingham, but anybody who wants to try and get on to be a footballer. We all played in the Young Elizabethan League, which is unique. We're all the similar ages. I think Gary's born on the same day as me. It's bizarre how it all comes together,
It is.
So it's worth watching in that respect.
Yes,
so
yes.
Your question was?
Yes, well, I watched the documentary and I saw you visit the park where you actually played with your mates. And it must have been the first time you'd been there for many, many years.
Oh, gone 20 years, yeah.
Yeah, what was it like?
20 odd years.
Going back.
I mean, well, it's got goals now, which it never had before. We used to put coats down or whatever it may be, but it hasn't changed dramatically that much.
Yeah.
And it's still there. And as I said in the film, I remember coming back in '66, walking back on my own, thinking, where is everybody? And obviously the World Cup final was on the television. So I never registered with me. It's only when I got home realised what I was missing. But it was happy times. It was literally 5 minutes walk, and we'd play all hours until somebody or my mum would shout or go to the corner and shout me in for my tea.
Yes.
So it was happy times and very enjoyable to go back. But as I say, I haven't been back to that park for gone 20 years.
Yeah, yeah, it was very nostalgic to watch,
Yeah.
and in the documentary, it makes clear you're the son of Jamaican immigrants, one of only two black families at the time who lived on the Clifton estate,
Mhm.
and I think having watched the film, it's clear that when you became the first black footballer to play for England, you didn't really perhaps understand or appreciate all the national attention that it got. Would that be right?
Absolutely not.
Mm,
Absolutely, 100%. Remember, Laurie Cunningham was the first black under-21 international, so he beat me in that respect.
mm.
Sadly, he's not with us. But yes, it was a young lad, happened to have a bit of talent, got to choose for England, and just wanted to not let my parents down, not let my friends down. I just wanted to do the basic things you do every Saturday afternoon. Make sure the first header's right,
Yeah.
make sure the first tackle's right, make sure you pass it to a teammate. All the basic things. You did for the. I mean, even now, 40 years on, I go to London, and taxi driver goes, "I saw your debut." I mean, it
Ah.
happens more than the odd occasion. So I'm more shocked than everybody that they went to the game on that day, but and that night. It's a great privilege and a pleasure.
How did you find out you'd been selected for your first full England cap?
Mr. Clough called me in the office. He said, "I've got a letter from the FA here saying you've been selected for England to play in this up and coming match against Czechoslovakia." So I found out through the manager.
Did he give you any advice?
Not that I can remember.
No.
I was a bit gobsmacked because there was talk of it, but you never know
Mm.
whether there was talk of, is it going to be Laurie Connery? Is it going to be me? And when I got the call up, I think Laurie might have been injured at the time. I'm not sure. And no, Mr. Clough said, "Yeah, you just go and enjoy it." I didn't know I was going to play at that stage. I was just in the
Mm.
squad of 20 odd players. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, it seems a long time ago
yeah.
now.
Well, there's a lovely archive clip of you talking in the documentary after you'd been selected, and a clip of Brian Clough as well. And he says that you seemed to lack confidence initially, and that had needed boosting over a period of time, and you
Mm-hmm.
needed sort of telling how good a player you were. How did Clough give you that confidence?
If you look at the video, I talk like that, and very quiet, very quietly spoken,
Yes.
everything else. But yeah, I mean, how did he help me? He helped me in loads of ways. I remember going to Newcastle in a cup tie and go out on the pitch on my own, and got abuse from everybody in the stadium. The old stadium booed and all sorts of things. And I went back to him and said, "Boss, I don't think I can play tonight." And he did look me straight in the eye and said, "You're playing."
Oh.
So there was no ifs or buts. Like today, if a player goes to a manager and says, I don't want to play for whatever reason, and get racially abused, some managers or most managers would go, "Listen, if you feel that way, it's entirely up to you, but we've got to respect your views, and so you can sit this one out."
Yeah.
Not with Mr. Clough. Mr. Clough says, "You're playing," and he goes on to explain why are you playing. He said, "You came here because you've got the ability to play in my team. So don't let these people around here dictate to you, else you're not going to make a footballer. You're not going to make a career." So from that day on, I always thought, well, the manager said this, so it helped me. It kept me in good stead for anything that they threw at me in a football field from then onwards. You
Yes.
just got to get on with it and do your best you can and prove everybody in the stadium or the minority that you can play.
Exactly. And when Forest played in Europe, not the Liverpool match, obviously that was here, but abroad, is it right that you were among the players to break a curfew at night and perhaps nip out for a few drinks?
That was after we'd won the European Cup.
Ah.
I think you're entitled to go out after that. Mr. Club said, "Everybody stay in," because the wives and the girlfriends were in Madrid,
Right.
and there was I think there was about six of us. We said, "I'm not staying in European Cup. We no chance of staying in." So we went. We got to the door, and I always have vivid memory of John Robertson at the door waving us off. He
Oh.
wouldn't dare break the curfew just in case what the manager had said.
Oh.
He said, "Oh, I can't risk it. I can't risk it." And we're going, "Forget it. You go be in a better position. Just won the European Cup. You're having a laugh." So it was quite funny as happens. But
Yeah. Did you have a good night? Yeah.
What I can remember, yeah, it was a long time ago. Yeah, no doubt we would have done. Yes.
Yeah. Now, you scored some wonderful long-range goals in your career. There was a wonderful 30-yard strike, I think it was, against AEK Athens in the European Cup. A couple I remember I watched against Middlesbrough, and Cloughie said they were the best brace of goals by one player he'd ever seen at that time. What was your favourite?
My favourite, you won't get that on camera. We played Everton away in a league match, I think it was, at Goodison Park, and I hit one with the outside my boot, and it curled in the corner like Roberto Carlos, a bit like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't score that many, but I do remember those, I must admit.
You played for Brian Clough. You played for Alex Ferguson. Who was the best in your opinion?
Oh, listen, they're both fantastic managers, and I get asked this question all the time. They demand respect, and as a player, I don't know any player that disrespects the manager. Maybe Roy Keane is the only one with Sir Alex. They never got on after a while.
Yeah.
But they played football in the right way. Very entertaining. Sometimes counter attack stuff, but you defend properly. You do the right things, and you conduct yourself in the right manner.
Yes.
But I would say if I had to choose between both of them, I mean, I had a fantastic time at Manchester United, but Forest, what they achieved at that time, coming from nowhere to win the league, a bit like Leicester, the scenario of Leicester, how they got on to win the league. But after they win the league, a fantastic achievement. They've got to go and win the European Cup back to back. And I said at the time, if they do that, they are got to be absolutely sensational.
Yeah. And
it turned out they were knocked out in the early stage of the group stages. But so for the time, remember it was only 5 years. It wasn't like Liverpool went on for 10 years or
right.
They had that great team. It broke up very quickly. 5 years are a long time in football, but it was fantastic times and we achieved such a lot. So I would say if you had, hope Sir Alex is not listening, and I'd just take Brian Clough. Yeah.
Well, I remember seeing you at Brian's memorial service and at the unveiling of the statue in Nottingham in 2008. And that unveiling was a special day, wasn't it? You were there with former players and Brian's family as well.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And it's a fantastic tribute. He's done such a lot for the city. I mean, you look back at the footage and watch the Man City bus ceremony. It's nowhere near as packed as at Nottingham one. I looked at the Nottingham as you come down the square in Nottingham. You just go, wow! The sea of red was incredible, and that memory will stay with me forever. So yes, it was what he brought to the town. The success, as I said, it was short-lived, but still very exciting. Everybody still talks about it now, 40 years on. We've got that many reunions, it's frightening.
Yeah. How will you remember Cloughie? But do you have a particular favourite memory of him?
Some very good memories. As I said, for the reasons as a young black player starting off in football, gave me my debut. All the things that you think would help you throughout your career, he was sensational for me. He took all the things you might worry about out of the equation. You're playing because of this, that, the other. Get on with it and try and do your best. And that took me throughout my career. As you say, I went to Arsenal, Man United, Sheffield Wednesday, all big clubs in the end.
Yeah.
And those thoughts and those ideas I took to each club.
Viv Anderson, thanks very much for sharing your memories. It's been a real pleasure talking to you. And the documentary Local Heroes is out on DVD, Blu-ray and digital. Thanks again, Viv.
You're welcome.
And thanks to you for listening. Don't forget you can see more Cloughie stories on the Tribute website brianclough.com, raising money for the types of good causes that Cloughie supported. I hope you can join me again soon for more memories of the great man in the green jumper.